Hey everybody, Commando Santa here, and welcome to the first episode of my new Planet Zoo series. Oh boy, it has been a while since I've done any substantial building in a Planet game. For those of you that don't know, I used to do a lot of Planet Coaster, and I mean, that's pretty much what started my YouTube channel was Planet Coaster. Yeah, I pretty much took a nice big break due to just some personal issues and such, and yeah, I haven't touched a Planet game since. Finally, I've just been getting back into the groove of Planet Zoo, just seeing all these amazing creations that people have been doing, and so one day I just kind of forced myself. I sat down, opened up a blank park, and pretty much immediately closed it because the blank park is just extremely daunting. And so a couple more times I finally got into the park and actually started kind of playing around with some things. I'll definitely talk more once we actually get into the build, but ultimately I have something that I'm finally happy with. I have a direction that I definitely want to go, and I'm excited to explore Planet Zoo, I guess, and the zoo that we're going to be creating. But anyways, yeah, so this is going to be the first episode of our series here, and without further ado, let's get into the build. All right, and welcome to the time lapse. I don't have that much footage that I can show, only because kind of the same as my City Skyline series. I was in between upgrading my computer, so just been testing stuff out, and ultimately this went through several iterations, and without having to fill up all of my hard drive space with different footage and stuff, I decided just to kind of build and see what stuck, and I'd rather show off a lot more in the live portion. We can just kind of walk and talk, but ultimately what I have here is kind of like the central building of the kind of like the main lodge building area type deal. It's funny, I actually built this, I actually based this off of a rest stop that's on the Interstate 90 that runs through the center of New York State. Some of you, I mean, if you travel or you want to look it up, it's actually based off of, I think, Pembroke. I think it's the Pembroke exit or the Pembroke rest stop. It's extremely funny. It was just a really cool building, and for some reason New York State has some nicer, or at least more lodgy looking rest stop areas off the highway. So I thought it was cool, and I just kind of want to rebuild it, like kind of remake it. And ultimately it turned into something I was actually really happy with. It actually looks really nice at the end of it. Ultimately there's this main central kind of lodge building, and then off to the, I guess, left side, if we're looking at the front here, there's going to be kind of just like, I think in the building itself that's like fast food or whatever, but in this I had it more as the restrooms and as well as like staff area, so maybe like a couple offices and then like your staff room and stuff. Because I really want to use a lot more of those like staff facilities in this, because ultimately like interiors are a thing in Planet Zoo in comparison to Planet Coaster. And I guess I'll hit that with a side note. I will be comparing this game to Planet Coaster a ton because that's ultimately what I'm used to. But yeah, just trying to, one of the things that I really want to work on is just my interior. So this building ended up in the end being a gift shop, I guess. Ultimately the entrance is going to be right next to it, but people will be funneled out of this building because it's just kind of like a straight through building, doors on each side, and it's pretty open on the inside, kind of like almost it feels very lodgy, very open, some exposed wooden beams at the top, but ultimately you can walk through if you're leaving. But it also entices you to hit, like the gifts and the gift shop, because the whole building's going to be a gift shop. And then there's like where you can redeem your, I guess, photos if you have photos, because I threw a Just a Memento in there. I think there's a Hats Fantastic in there. And ultimately there's, I think, a coffee shop, because why not? You always got to have your coffee shop in kind of these little areas. While the kids are doing their thing, looking at toys and stuff, you can, grab yourself a Street Fox coffee. I mean, it's ultimately what people want. But yeah, it's pretty good. And just kind of incorporating restrooms, because a building of this scale would definitely have some sort of restroom facility. And then making it look kind of natural, making it look more realistic instead of just kind of like these shops that are kind of just hand slapped right into this building. And then there's this back kind of like hallway that leads to the staff room. And the staff room is, I think it's the larger staff room. I think it's like 2x2, I think, if I recall. I don't remember. But yeah, so it's very open, and it actually looks really nice. I have like the door crack that's going into it, and then you can look through the window on each side, and it's got all the decoration on the inside. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this building came out. I'll talk more about it when we get to the live portion, but ultimately, I think you've seen a couple glimpses of it, but I originally started this build on this map as a recreation of the Buffalo Zoo. Buffalo Zoo is really nice. I'm trying not to build anything that's extremely out of proportion. I guess not out of proportion, but completely out of my ability to finish, because I have this thing where I don't like to finish things. And I do want to finish. I do want to at least accomplish to finish the zoo. So I wanted to hit the smaller scale, as I currently build this extremely ginormous building. But so I originally started with the Buffalo Zoo, because the Buffalo Zoo itself is kind of a smaller zoo. It's not very big. It's not very grand. It's nothing to write home about, but it's nice, and it's what we have here. It's our home zoo. But ultimately, I just wasn't really excited about the building, because I started making the entrance building, and I finished it, and I was just, it looked kind of like it, but at that point I wanted to do something different, something a little bit more, I guess not used to, but something I would have a lot more fun doing. So I ended up transforming to this. But yeah, so I'm kind of keeping the theme that I guess I'm really good at, is more of the Alpine Lodgy theme kind of deal. Your kind of darker rock with your brown wooden beams, and then like the green walls and that kind of stuff, like your dark forest green. It's just kind of something I do for some reason. But I think it looks really good. Just getting everything correct and getting the scale correct is something I'm trying to get done the right way first. Ultimately, I had that issue with Buffalo Valley in my Planet Coaster series, because I was extremely new to Planet Coaster, and the realism part of the realism kind of thing that everyone was doing wasn't a thing at that point. So I just kind of started going like mad and just kind of building things that I thought were cool without even thinking about scale, without thinking about realism. So I want to do this build kind of the same way that Buffalo Valley was near the end, and that was definitely focus on realism, but also you have I don't want to say fantasy elements, but things that it's something a little bit more different. If I see like a really cool building that might not necessarily make sense in a park, I do want to try to incorporate it in a way where it does. Ultimately, like here, a rest stop lodge, like off a highway, just kind of, it's now became the exit building and the gift shop for the Keuka Zoo. Like but it works. Like I want to make sure it works, and I think in a little bit I actually work on an HVAC system for this building too, because of course, why wouldn't I work on an HVAC system for this building? But yeah, so I think I'm going to pop this over to the live portion so I can actually start talking about all the things I've done, because I'm at a really good spot right now where it's I'm happy with showing it off finally. It's the entrance and exit are pretty much set and done, so it's going to give us a good starting point to actually continue on. So let's pop over to the live portion and we'll walk around and talk. See you then. All right, everybody, and welcome to the front entrance to Keuka Zoo. Wow, that rhymed. So, yeah, this is my front entrance that I pretty much got done. I'm extremely happy with this. So, ultimately, I finished the building over there that we're working on in the time lapse, and I initially wanted that building to be like the entrance and exit building, because I was kind of going around the route of maybe this was going to be, you know, like a smaller zoo where you just kind of enter this building, you grab your ticket, and you go out and you explore the zoo, and you come back to the same building to leave. But just kind of doing some research and looking at zoos all over, because I'm not a zoo guy. Like, I've gone to zoos, but like, and I really enjoy zoos, but I've not gone to a lot of zoos. I'm not like actively seeking out zoos all the time. But so ultimately I thought, why don't I just have an entrance building on the other side of where you kind of funnel people in, and then they can funnel through the park that kind of way. So you have like, it's kind of like a smaller main thoroughfare, because most of my knowledge is from theme parks, but it's kind of like a smaller main thoroughfare that, you know, it'll branch out like normal, and then you work your way back, and instead of exiting through this area, you exit through the gift shop, which would be extremely perfect. You know, that's exactly what zoos would like, because, you know, it gets the people to kind of stop, spend some money at the gift shop, and, you know, hopefully maybe donate something, get some more information, and ultimately grab some sort of memorabilia for marketing and such. But yeah, that was ultimately the idea here. So so this is the front entrance. Nothing too crazy, just kind of like a basic pavilion here to bring people in. 2 ticket booths, so you just kind of walk up in this queue here, grab your ticket, and then you will go through the entrance. Either break through here or come on back and go around. I'm really happy with the way these kind of like pillars and like support pillars came out. They're kind of cool. But yeah, this is a straight building. Entrance in the back, and, you know, a little HVAC system right here. Ultimately I have to fill in a gap right there, but regardless, yeah, just a door to come on in. I still need to figure out something to do right here, but yeah, this building's really cool, and I really like these like slatted walls that I made, and ultimately where like this one right here holds the sign for the zoo. And this is just kind of like those like art piece looking trees that I've done different colors, and I did light it up in the middle of the night, and it does look okay. But yeah, this is generally going to be what just kind of the color scheme, almost kind of this same type of deal. I made these kind of retaining walls here because I'm assuming there's probably going to be an exhibit on this side, either an exhibit or maybe some sort of like backstage kind of thing. So these retaining walls actually do kind of well, and they look really nice. I just did those like wood beam walls, like the basic ones, like the wood walls, and then wooden beams, and then I think just the plank at the top, just for some breaking up the color. And right here I have moss. I think it's a moss, and I've sunk it in a lot. I sunk it in just to make it breaks it up a little bit more, and it looks kind of nice. I'm still playing around with landscaping, just trying to get a feel for what I like, what I don't like. Also, I'm getting used to having tall grass, because sometimes the tall grass makes sense and sometimes the tall grass did not. And like, if you're looking at like from out here, the level of detail ultimately turns the grass off when you zoom out a little bit, which makes sense in a video game standpoint. But yeah, so it's like you can really see the kind of difference here. Like ultimately there's some grass up here, there should be some grass here, but you don't see that until you zoom in. So unsure how I'm going to do with that, so I might just kind of fudge it with some more of these plants and stuff. But yeah, let's kind of switch gears and move over to here. This is that kind of side area I was telling you about. In here is, I think there's restrooms right here, and then the staff room is like right here. And this is kind of dead space right here, but I would assume it'd just kind of be another extension of staff room. I mean, ultimately in here you would probably maybe have like a couple extra office desks and such. This is my HVAC unit. I custom made this just for something that looks kind of natural, kind of looks normal. Funnel some things into here. This was on the roof of this building that I based this off of, because I was using Google Earth just to kind of look at a 3D view of it and be able to kind of move around and such. I'm still need to figure out something right here, because there was another generator on the roof, but it was kind of huge and it didn't look good up here. Because ultimately, if you're down here, I mean, you can see some of the HVAC and you can see this duct right here, but I don't want some big like Kohler generator up here. It just wouldn't look right. But yeah, switching over to here, the gift shop, Keuka Gifts. I was playing around with these window features, because ultimately you have a clear view all the way through through the inside, from one side to the other. So I grabbed these elephants and I kind of put them on top of here, because inside we have like this kind of entrance thing. I need to figure out, I don't know if I want to do like rolling doors that kind of come down here, or just normal double doors that they can shut at the end of the night. But yeah, so they would have kind of like this threshold here, which they use for a lot of like buildings up north. You know, when you have snow and cold and stuff, they heat this section pretty hardcore, so none of the cold air comes in, and you come into here and then you come into here. But yeah, threw some elephants up here just because that would make sense. Light them up, so it's kind of cool. You know, you're walking in and you see these elephants, you're like, oh cool, I'm a zoo. Because you can come in through this way, and you know, hit the gift shop and stuff, or hit these shops or whatever. But I think there's going to be I don't know if I want to do like a counter right here, but ultimately you wouldn't have your people come in here and then be able to get through here, because that would be, you know, getting into the zoo for free, unless you had like a tag or something, or a stamp, or I don't know. But we'll come back to here. Typical porch kind of deal. Put some seats over on each side, just to break it up a little bit. But yeah, really happy with this. I think this looks really nice. Ultimately, right here is going to be a parking lot, because of course there's going to be a road over there. Maybe a highway over here, because that's what we do in zoo building games. But yeah, Keuka Zoo. What else can I show you, I guess? So ultimately, if we come into here, this is going to be just kind of like the main artery of the zoo thoroughfare. So ultimately you're going to either go this way or this way. I'm going to have some more shops and such right here, and maybe a shop over here, or ultimately I might have our first kind of larger exhibit right here for animals. But yeah, I think this would be kind of a smaller artery, and this is going to be a thicker one. That would probably break out a little bit more as we go. I know some people are already stating, well, that's a little bit too thick, that's a little bit too big. But this just kind of makes sense in my head. This area right here would just kind of be the default kind of gather plaza. And I think maybe right here, or depending what shops I put right here, we're going to have some seating areas, whether it be benches and tables and chairs and stuff. And I think that's going to, that'll round this area out a little bit, because I know it's a little bit bare right here, and I really didn't want to show this area yet, because ultimately it's not finished, but anyways. But yeah, let's finish off by being in this building. This building still needs a lot of work. ultimately we got, you know, beams at the top, tried to make it the lighting look kind of normal, and we added these kind of like string lights. The string lights look really nice at nighttime. I can switch over to night real quick once I'm done talking about this. It kind of looks magical, I guess you can call it. It looks cool. I still need to do a lot of work. I need to figure out making props for gifts. I actually might go in the workshop and see, because I'm assuming people have made kind of like gift shop stuff. And ultimately this place would just kind of be jam-packed with t-shirts, models, and animal things, and whatever. But yeah, this is the coffee spot. This is Hat's Fantastic, and then just a memento, in case like you're getting photos done around here. But yeah, need to work a little bit more on the facade for these. I think definitely need to make this a little bit more normal. Throw some kind of like, maybe like cafe seating over here. Ultimately, yeah, I think that's pretty much my idea for that. This is the door to the Street Fox Coffee. This is the door that kind of access these two. And then bathrooms. Ultimately, I just kind of use the normal bathroom thing, but the bathrooms here are just your imagination. But this is the kind of the staff area. Another entrance into those facilities, and then this is the staff room. Really cool. I love the interiors for this. This is like one of my favorite things they did. So yeah, staff area. And they have windows to the outside here. And I've done my best to kind of like hide them from view. So at least the people that are hanging out in here, they're getting some sort of sunlight. Instead of kind of like being blasted into a cave, you know, stuck into a cave with no light, whatever. But yeah, ultimately, this is pretty much what I got done. I'm trying to think of anything else that I did. Let me do kind of like a nice big 360 here so you can get just kind of the entirety of the view. I really like the big structure. The big structure turned out really nice. And you can see in the distance my original Buffalo Zoo recreation, but maybe we'll revisit that later. I don't know. I might use that for something else, so I'm not going to show it in this episode. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for this episode. I don't know what frequency I'm going to release videos for this. Ultimately, this took a while. For those of you that play Planet Zoo and build like this, you know this stuff takes a long time. It's a labor, and I'm trying not to spend. I'm trying not to kill myself for trying to get a video out every week. It's just not going to happen. So I don't want to get burned out like last time. So anyways, yeah, so I don't know. We'll figure out a frequency. I'm pretty much working this around my City Skyline series, so we'll see. Ultimately, that's pretty much it. So make sure to like this video, comment, help me with that YouTube algorithm, and yeah, let me know what you think in the comments for sure. If you have any suggestions or whatever, I read pretty much every comment as much as I can. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.